Okay, so let us talk about sine rule. Sine rule is the first way in which you resolve triangles, in which you find angles or you find sides of triangles. So if I have, let's look at an example like this. I have an example with this triangle over here. Let's say the angles are A, B, and C. Now we normally say that the side in which faces each of the angle gives you the small letter of the angle that you have. So meaning that I would have this as C, this is B, and this is A. Now what sine rule tells us is it could also be rewritten as a reciprocal. The next thing that we need to figure out here is how do we apply this our sine rule? In which sort of questions are we expected to use sine rule? So the first way to use sine rule is when you have questions that there is two angles and one side. Then sine rule can definitely be applied. Now for us to do that, we have to have a side and an angle pair. Now currently we do not have one, but we can create one by figuring out what this angle A is. So that's what we start with. So angle A is equals to, we do this because of interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. So that is 65 degrees. Now we can now use the formulas of sine rule, which says that. Yeah, so now since we are trying to get B, that's why we have sine B over B. And the pair that we have is sine A over A. So we just substitute. Then by cross multiplying, so therefore B would be 12,79 units. Okay, so that's it. The second type of questions in which we use sine rule are questions whereby you have two sides and an angle. And one thing very special about this angle is that the angle must be facing one of the sides, right? You must have one side angle pair for this to work. So in that case, then you can solve this question. So now this, as you can see, is our pair. So we can start with that. We're going to have the second pair we're trying to figure out is this one over here, which is 13 and angle F. So we'll write it in such a way that it is. Then we'll cross multiply this to solve. And that would be your answer for sine F. But that's not what we're asked to find. We're asked to find angle F. So to get angle F, we will use the second function of sine, meaning we'll move sine over to the other side, and in your calculator, you put sheet sine, then you substitute this answer over there. And your final answer would be, and that's it, 52,26 degrees. The two ways in which we talked about to solve sine rule, the first one is having two angles and a side, and the second one is having two sides and an angle, where the angle and one of the sides has to be opposite to each other.